Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes Podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh from MitsuTimes. Today, my guest is Mr. Andrew Welling. We're going to do a up to speed, if you will, on the Buschur's Shootout Poker Run. How you doing today, Andrew?
Doing pretty good, Josh. Just hanging in there.
Yeah. The weather's been so up and down, man. It's crazy how it's like we go from summer to fall, and then the next week it's summer. What a crazy world we live in.
Well, I mean, if you're buried in the garage for the shootout scramble, you don't even know what the weather is. So
that's true. Don't even know what sunlight looks like anymore.
Nope, not at all.
So the poker run is a little bit different this year. It's being run by people in the community, by ClubDiamondStar. So I want to talk about what is a poker run, because I feel like a lot of people, they kind of hear about the poker run. They're not really sure if they can make it. Maybe they don't want to get involved because they don't know what it is. So let's get right into what a poker run is. Yeah,
so, like you mentioned, ClubDiamondStar, which is our group out of basically Northeast Indiana, mainly DSMs, but it's really kind of all tuner cars, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan area, and it's been around for quite a while, but we've been, part of the shootout and, the Mitsubishi scene for many, many years. I mean, Jared, the president, I'm the vice president, have been doing this for 20 years, and, getting the opportunity to jump into the poker run has been huge, and I'm hoping to do a lot with it. So again, like we're saying, it's for those that don't know, it's really simple. It's a game of poker, and instead of sitting at a table, you're driving a car. Not to be confused with driving and playing the game. That borderline illegal. But it's actually really, really popular in the motorcycle, especially Harley world. If you've ever gone to like any of the bike weeks, whether it's, something as big as Sturgis or, just the bike week they do, even something like Sandusky for those in the Ohio area. But it's really kind of expanded into all motoring enthusiasts. I mean, even through boaters, I've seen poker runs for the boat community. But there's different games to be played, but really the most common is 5-card stud. So basically a player, you pay for your participation and you'll get a sheet, and that sheet is, that's the game, right? You're going to have all your card draws recorded on that. But you have to go to these different stops in order to draw your card. So the stops are usually businesses that are supporting the event, and it's customary to, partake in what the business has to offer. And at the end, when your hand is full, you'll turn in your sheet into the event host at the final stop, and that's where the winner gets determined and paid. It's pretty simple, and really relatively easy money, compared to trying to win a drag class at the track. So
absolutely, don't have to be fast, right?
Nope. You don't have to be fast. Honestly, you don't even have to bring a Mitsubishi or anything, right? Bring whatever you got: your car, truck, bike, tow rig. I mean, it's all about having fun. So.
But you don't win by getting through all the stops first, right? It's not like a seek and find kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all about the best poker hand. That's what you're trying to get.
Okay. So the poker run for the shootout, it's been going on for 7 years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history and how it got started?
Yeah, 7 years strong. The shootout poker run, it really started as Dave Buschur's idea back in 2017. And I think it was really just a way to get more to the roots of the shootout in the earlier days, right? When everyone would hang out at Buschur's and, do the big bonfire and everyone just shoot the shit. Just a bunch of, DSM enthusiasts getting to hang out and be with like-minded individuals and just not have the stress of the track. So Dave proposed, to the community about doing a poker run ahead of the event on that Thursday, ahead of the Friday Wakeman takeover that we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, after doing my own research of what a poker run was, because at the time I was like, I've heard of these things, but I've never done one. I don't know what it is. I kind of started looking into it, and I was like, well, yeah, this looks awesome. So, I was one of the first ones to jump on and be like, yeah, absolutely. Let's make this happen. Who wouldn't want to make the shootout weekend another day longer and get to drive your car around with other Mitsu people, and doing the Mitsu wave out the window, right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, cash is king, right? You go, well, here's an opportunity to take home some money,
Not to mention hit up some of the best places in the area while doing it.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it's you think about Northern Ohio and you don't think that there's a lot of scenery, but there can be if you go look for it. It's there. So but yeah, so like myself and a large amount of the local DSM group here with the Club DiamondStar club and quite a few others, we responded to Dave's posts, and it got enough interest that Dave went ahead and laid it all out, right? Laid out the stops, the cost. I won't forget that first year. It's burned in my memory. There was a simple $20 buy-in. We had the first stop was actually not Buschur's. It was an ice cream parlor in Wakeman. I can't think of the name of it now, but I think it was on Route 20 maybe at the time. And then the other 4 stops were wineries, which, again, a lot of us racers are coming, wives or whatever. That appetized them quite a bit. They're like, oh, we get to drink wine all day before the track? Like, yeah, I'm in. So we had, like I said, we had the ice cream parlor, and then we had Paper Moon in Vermilion. There was a Firelands winery in Sandusky, Quarry Hill in Berlin Heights, which is an absolutely gorgeous winery. It's got some rolling hills, and you can see the grapevines all planted out along the hills. And on a nice day, you can actually see Lake Erie, which is kind of cool. And then Matus is in Wakeman. They've usually been the staple of shutting down the poker round, being the last stop. But we had such a blast with everyone there. We got to meet some people for the first time. Meet people we've only talked to on social media, and bump elbows with, the David Buschur for the day. And it was great. We had 34 playing participants that first year. Now I did happen to win, and that obviously, stirred up a whole lot of course you love this event because you won. But hey, that was $680 to drive around Northern Ohio for the day. Yeah. Eat, drink, and it is like the most stress-free thing that you can do. So after that first year, when we all, we did the payout, Dave asked, like, hey, did you guys like this? Do you want to do it again? And I'll tell you, the entire winery shouted a big hell yeah. We were all of us were hooked that did it that first year. And it showed a moment of community, and it's continued, right? Ever since 2017, this has been going on the day before the shootout, that Thursday before. So the only exception obviously was the 2020 shit show. But it even endured the Jimmy Bowling days. All right. I'm going to say some dirty words here, but it made it through. And some of that was probably because we helped Jimmy quite a bit on running and executing it. But ultimately this year, Dave and Brandon at Buschur's reached out and asked if I was, interested in supporting the event, at least helping get stops set up and getting businesses aligned to support. So, I ecstatically said yes. I love the event. I want to make sure it keeps going, and I would love to figure out how to grow it. So, I immediately started scoping out how to support this year, and what we can do to keep the event alive and really boost participation, because the more people we get, the bigger the payout gets. It's a direct 1-to-1. So more players, more money.
Well, okay, speaking of, we're hoping to have more people this year. When is the poker run this year for the shootout?
So, yeah, this year it is, again, the Thursday before the event. So it'll be September 5th, and that is from noon until 4:30 p.m. For those who have done it in the past, the start time is the same, but we have shifted the end time a bit. It used to run all the way till 6 p.m. in the early days, but that was when the track wasn't open on Thursday nights. Last year, I think it was last year, or maybe the 2 years prior, it ended at 5. But after, some conversations with Mike at D Sport and trying to align with the shootout schedule for the track on Thursday, we ended up deciding to go ahead and wrap it up at 4:30, shift it up a little bit. And that's to help out those of you that are racing and want to get to the track Thursday night and try to use that 3-hour time window to set up your pit, get your car ready for tech inspection, all that kind of fun stuff. So we wanted to try to make it to where those that are racing can still participate, right, and not feel like they're being rushed to get to the track to get their pit spot and then miss out on, potentially winning. Because we do try to keep it a, present to win kind of thing, right? Exchange the money right away.
Well, that's awesome. That way, if you're coming there to race, you can still do the poker run and make it to the track without waiting in line all day on Friday.
Exactly.
Cool. So if I want to participate in the poker run, what do I need to know before I show up at noon at Buschur's to get my card?
Well, let's say it's not an if. You must participate. No.
We're forcing you to.
No, so exactly. I'm twisting your arm right now, Josh. You better be there.
I'm going to try.
But we talked about the day and time. So, yeah, let's kind of maybe just walk through how the day will go, and that'll probably help, explain what you need to know. So, the event starts at noon, and that means that you'll arrive at Buschur's at that time. That's the first stop. And you can arrive after. It's not like, be there before noon and get in line kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But you want to get there, about that time, and you'll pay your $20 and get your player sheet. You'll also receive, this year, we're doing a commemorative dated sticker. So that way everybody's got just a little something to remember it by, right? Maybe you can accumulate them on your car or whatever, right? Stick them on your toolbox.
All right, let me ask you a question real quick, Andrew. Can I pick up more than one sheet per person?
No. So, well, I guess I take that back. Per person, yes. So you're only allowed to buy one sheet per person. We don't want to have players accumulating sheets and then trying to, I drew this card, so I'm going to try to put it on this sheet and try to stack a hand, right?
Gotcha.
That's been Dave's one big rule. But again, it's per player. So it's like if you or your significant other or if you got multiple people riding in your car want to play, then, each of you will purchase a sheet, right? You got 4 people in your Evo, you can go buy 4 sheets and each person has a sheet, right? But that person needs to really be the one turning it in to get their draw, right? And again, it helps keep everything fair, right? So like I said, at the first stop there at Buschur's, you'll draw that first card, and then Dave or Brandon or whoever is working the desk, they'll take that sheet and they're going to write down your card drawn, right? They write it down, not you. So at that point, the poker run now becomes a play at your own pace. So you have 4 remaining stops and 4 cards to draw to complete your hand. You'll drive to the stops and provide your sheet to the host that has the deck of cards. Usually, if you don't see or you're not sure who it is, just hold your player sheet and be like, "I'm here for the poker run," and they'll flag you over or tell you where to go.
Now, do I have to go to the stops in order?
You do not. You do need to make Matus Winery, however, your last stop. So you must be there and draw your card and turn in your sheet no later than 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, that's, again, to support getting those who need to get to the track by 5 and potentially collect their winnings so they can, make their way over to Summit Motorsports Park. But again, it's play at your own pace. I will say, though, you probably should follow the stops. GPS is your friend, okay? There's some opportunities for some fun roads to drive on, but always, be sure to stay safe and drive smart. We don't ruin the event by disturbing the peace. But again, it's not a race. It's a relaxing way to kick off the weekend and, hang out with some people. But yeah, you really want to make sure you give yourself enough time to get to the different stops and enjoy each stop, right? So, and if you do them not in order, you're likely going to put the amount of time you can spend at each stop kind of at jeopardy, I'll say, right? You don't give yourself much time to get there, get your car to move on.
Okay.
But each stop has something to offer, right? So, I mean, I highly recommend that you do them in that order, like I said, to manage your time. And these stops, they're all businesses that are hosting us, right? I've reached out to these businesses personally, explained what we're doing, who we are, what we're bringing, how many people that they might expect, right? Ideally, you can bring, many more to them. But it's really kind of, I'll say, customary when on Poker Run to try to partake in what each stop has to offer, So the second stop right after Buschur's is Paper Moon Vineyard in Vermilion. We're going back there. And they have a delicious blackberry sangria. If you're a wine drinker, even if you're not a wine drinker, you're going to love this. It's really, really good. We usually buy a bottle every year to bring back with us as well. They have awesome hard ciders. You can ask Jesse Emmerich if any of you know who that is. A couple years ago, he left piles of vomit all the way down the track from our pits to the bathrooms from those. They're delicious. But they've got appetizers and food to snack on while you drink. And again, you can take your time, right? Take your time to enjoy the stop and kind of take it all in. So after Paper Moon, the third stop is Toff's Ice Cream Parlor in Sandusky, which has delicious ice cream and a massive, massive counter of flavors to choose from. I can't even tell you how many there are in that case. And there's also, some good picture taking opportunities, some photo ops. So, I mean, if you're into cow statues, it's a good place to get a good cow pic if you're into that. But again, if you're, photo ops and video coverage are huge, right? I recommend everybody to bask in those memories and try to capture them. You're going to have a lot of fun. So after the third stop is Bluto's Hometown Tavern in Norwalk. So that's stop number 4. And that is a new one, new to our Poker Run. They've hosted some in the past, but this will be their first with the shootout crowd. I've already been getting some feedback from some people that have seen the stop list, and there's definitely some excitement about it. So that's good. I'm glad that people are getting excited about the new stop. But they've got, brews and food that really be ideal to, fill your stomach up in the afternoon. Because again, you're kind of running around. You probably didn't eat lunch. You don't know when you're going to eat dinner. Probably be good to at least get a good meal in you. And maybe that's a good stop to do that. But again, you're kind of managing your own pace. How does it work for you? Maybe you like the food better somewhere else, And then, so at that point, right, after the 4th stop, you got 4 cards drawn. You're looking at your hand going, I'm either in this game or I'm not in a good spot, So at the 5th stop, Matus Winery, who has amazing wine slushies. Again, a must get. There you'll get your last card, turn in your sheet to me, and I'll do the evaluations, and I'll basically go through, see what hand everybody has, and kind of start piling up who's got the best hand as we work through, people turning them in. So I might wear a name tag so there's no confusion, or maybe a dunce hat. I don't know. But either way, we'll get all the submissions in, hopefully by 4:30. Again, try to get that in, and we'll announce and pay that winner who does take 100% of the pot at that time. So if there's 50 players this year, it's $1,000 pot right in your pocket. 75 players, we haven't gotten that many yet, but man, that would be awesome to hit this year. That's a $1,500 pot. So the last 2 years, it has been a 4-digit pot. So I expect that we'll probably see that again.
Nice.
But again, it's 100% funded by us, right? You play, that money goes in, and you got a great chance to make it. So.
Okay.
But like I said, with these stops, if you have time, maybe you see something that you want to stop at that's you don't have in your area, right? So maybe where you live, you don't have, whatever restaurant or whatever, bar, or this place has something that you want to get, right? Make your own time, right? If you have that whole 4.5 hours, trust me, you've got plenty of time to get through it. Each stop, it's about 25 minutes or so between them if you do them in order, right? So you can kind of figure out there's enough time to do what you want to do, But by all means, take advantage and maybe even do some stuff amongst your group. So our group, Club DiamondStar, we like to do a side bet. So that way somebody in our group walks away with some kind of cash, right? Like last year we had 12 players, just the Club DiamondStar group. and we did a $5 side bet, right? So that was $60 in one of our pockets, no matter what, right? So it also kind of worked out that the guy that won our side pot also won the big pot last year. So he walked away with a big fat stack of cash. So good for him. He's not able to make it this year, so everybody's got a better chance of winning, I think.
Take some of the competition out.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever wished that there was a magazine just for our community? Well, now there is. Mitsu Talk is a side project that I've been working on with my wife. It is full of unique Mitsubishi builds, tech ads written by experts within our community, as well as current events, some throwback knowledge, and more. This is a 100% free digital magazine. Their first issue was just released, and we're already working on the next one. This will be a quarterly magazine, at least for now. Find the magazine, hundreds of builds, as well as a glossary of Mitsubishi knowledge from all over the web at MitsuTalk.com. Well, I got two questions for you, Andrew, that I've just seen pop up, I guess really three. So what do I do with my trailer if I want to either do the poker run in my tow rig, or maybe my car, I can pull it out of the trailer and drive it on the street? What can I do with my trailer?
Yeah, so that became an issue last year when the new facilities were being built there by Buschur's. We used to use the grass lot behind the shop to park our rigs, but that is no longer an option. So what we did last year, and a few other people did, was we just ended up going to the Norwalk Walmart and kind of stacking our trailers up over there, and then obviously, safety reasons, blocking them or keeping stuff, hooked up and locked or whatever. But that worked out pretty good. It adds a little bit of transportation time if you did take your car out of the trailer, right? To do the poker run, you have to drive from Wakeman back to Norwalk and then to the track. So you got a little bit of time there. But again, it ends at 4:30. Track doesn't even open till 5. I know there's a line of people, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're trying to work through some of that. I'd like to figure out a better way to do it and maybe work with, Mike and the track to support that somehow, but it was not something that we could get done this year.
Okay. All right, so what if, and this probably pertains to a good majority of people listening, I would think, what if I have no idea how to play 5-card stud?
Well, that is actually really common. We've had multiple people that are like, oh yeah, poker run, and they get there and they're like, I don't know what hand is what. You're like, that's fine. Actually, on the player sheets, we put on there the ranking that we use, right? So, for instance, if you don't know what a royal flush is, there's a little descriptor there, and it shows you that's top hand, right? All the way down to ace is high card, right? So basically, the sheet will help you understand which hand is best, right, and what to pray for when you draw a card. And then at the end of the day, if there ends up being like a tie or something, then we'll do a 1-card draw basically between whoever tied, and that will be high card winner. So again, if you're not super familiar with the game, I'm sure there's other people that will be able to help you along the way. But the player sheet itself, when you get it, that has the stops on it, it'll give the different hands and the different rankings of which one's better than which.
Okay. Well, my last question, Andrew, is, people obviously coming from all over the United States and Canada. What if I get lost? Where is there a Facebook event thing or somebody that I can message and be like, hey, I'm looking for a paper moon and I'm out here next to the Great Lake. What am I supposed to do?
No, that's a really good question. I did create a Facebook event this year. I'm trying to push people that are trying to attend to go accept it. And that way, it could be a really good way to communicate with other patrons, right? For something like that. Again, GPS is your friend. There is pretty good coverage out there, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about not having service between these stops. There is also, and I think, Josh, you've seen it too, for those that have maybe joined the Discord group, I'm trying to keep up on the poker run section of that they created for the shootout. That might be another place too that I'll monitor if somebody's having issues.
Perfect. That's another thing that we should have thought about. What if I break down? Yeah.
Yeah, that has happened. I think we had a couple years ago, Andrew Gonzalez, Mr. No Crust with the white GSX. He didn't actually break down on the poker run, but he started having some issues, and then he ended up getting stranded after the poker run Thursday night when we were all out tooling around. So it happens.
Not with DSM,
yeah, even last year we had a guy. Last year we had a guy consuming water, so we had to keep putting water in his car to get him back. So it happens. It's okay. But again, once you get to the stops, right, there's plenty of people. If you're having an issue, right, just again, we're all friendly. So if there's somebody out there, you see a DSM or Evo in the parking lot, be like, hey, whose car is that? I got a problem. I need some help. You know, everybody's going to be willing to support, get you going.
I know last year, even the host, the people giving you the cards, you know, they were super friendly. Like, hey man, what kind of car do you have? Blah blah blah. And it was a good atmosphere all around.
Yeah, we've had some great stops in the past, and we got quite a few repeats this year, and then one new one. And like I said, talking to them personally, they definitely sounded like they're going to be a good one. So we'll see how the stops go this year, and obviously, you know, look forward to how to move forward.
So, well, speaking of moving forward, you've talked about, you know, some changes that you hope that we can get with the track and some new locations. Are there any plans for changes or maybe even some upgrades for next year?
Yeah, I'm trying to navigate it, right. I say just getting this, you know, from Dave and helping with it. You know, try not to get too crazy with it and still stick to what we know works. But I know the biggest thing for next year, it's going to be advertising and getting started earlier and trying to advertise further. I mean, I'm no social media expert. I'm no content creator, but you know, I'm hoping to get some support and see how we can do a better job of that and try to get a further reach to the shootout patrons. Especially those who are coming from the world side of the competition, right? The non-Mitsu racers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, this is the 7th year, and there has been a lot of people still that either don't know about the poker run or don't know what it is, or, you know, maybe they'll hear it talked about on the PA at the track on, you know, Friday, like, oh, hey, those of you that in the poker run yesterday, but they didn't even know anything about it, right? Trying to close that gap and figure out how do we get more exposure to it, right? Is it just purely social media and advertising? Is it, you know, trying to build hard contacts and doing like the shootout did with the text messaging? Is it using the FOAT even, right? Allowing a way to pre-purchase your poker run sheet, right? Where you just come in and go, hey, I already paid, boom, get your sheet, you know, something like that to try to, again, build some more attention to it. That's definitely, I'd say, the top priority.
Okay.
Another one I kind of talked about, and this actually kind of stemmed from we were planning on doing a local-ish poker run for kind of the Midwest area with whoever we could get.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about, you know, hey, what if you like didn't do a winner take all, and maybe you do a small breakdown for second and third, right? Maybe third place is you get your money back, you know, the $1 scratch off approach, and second place, you know, gets a little bit more than that, right? Maybe they get, you know, whatever, 60, 80, $100, and then, you know, first place takes whatever's left, right? Or maybe even get an event sponsor of some sort to kind of help supplement, you know, the additional payout kind of thing. It's something I'm kind of rolling around thinking about. How do we get people more excited to, you know, do it? And if it's money that's the incentivizer, right? Maybe paying out second and third will draw some more people, you know, because there's people who are doing it for different reasons. Some do it to hang out with friends, and, you know, they look at the $20 and what they spend on the stops as just the cost of having fun, right? And there's other people that may be like, hey man, I wish I, you know, get some money back out of this. Well, here's your opportunity, right? We can keep doing this and do it longer. And if we keep doing it, you'll be able to kind of show that accumulation over time, right? Man, I've done it 4, 5, 6 years or whatever.
Yeah. That's cool.
So that's definitely going to stick around. And again, you know, they're relatively no cost, right? So it's not a big deal to get those made and have them for people. But I do think a t-shirt would be will be kind of cool, like a little event shirt that people can purchase, something cheap. And again, just to remember the day by, or maybe they wear it Thursday night just to kind of help, again, promote the event,
right?
Bring attention to it. So it's little stuff like that, right? I mean, the event is so great, even as it sits, and you just want to get some more people to take advantage of it. Take that little bit more time off for shootout country, get there a little earlier, and come hang out with us, and maybe take home some cash instead of just spending cash all weekend.
Definitely. And like you said, it's worth the extra day off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've yet to meet somebody who was like, wow, that poker run is dumb. I'll never come back and do this. It hasn't happened. Everybody's like, wow, I need to figure out how to get back to this. Let me make sure I got my days, off to make that happen, Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I went into it not knowing a single thing about poker, and I was like, man, this was a lot of fun. So
yeah, when was your first year, Josh? That was it 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think 22.
22? Yeah. Yeah, it was so much fun.
I'm considering myself a foodie or whatever you want to call it, but my favorite thing was getting to try places that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think 2 years ago we ended across the street from Buschur's. I think it was called East of Chicago, something like that. And I was like, man, I would have never came in here, but it was really good.
Yeah, it was probably the Route 20 pub at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was right across from Buschur's shop. Yep.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and again, like prior to the poker run, I've never stepped foot in a winery. That was the first time I even stepped foot in a winery, and I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And now the wife and I, we make a thing out of it, right? We got some local wineries around here that we go and hang out and drink and eat and stuff like that. So it's like it kind of opened us up to a whole nother level, and you're like, wow, this is crazy, right? Something as simple as just participating in this event kind of changed your view on things.
For
so,
sure.
Like you said, it's definitely a change of pace of what you expect from the shootout. You get to do something that's still car related without all the car stress. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing I can say, and hopefully that's what gets people attracted to come. So,
and if you want to, like for me, I'm getting to the point in life where I can't sit outside of Red Roof Inn and drink all night. That's just getting too old. So something like this is perfect, where I still get to hang out with everybody and still get to go to bed on time.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not spring chickens anymore. So some of those, even the 3 a.m. thrashing in the pits is getting a little tough. So let alone 4 a.m. drinking still, knowing that the lights, the cars are going to be going loud at 8 a.m.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, Andrew, let's say that we didn't answer somebody's question here. I just want to reiterate that you can go on the event. There's a discussion tab. You can ask your question there. Also, the Discord. I will have the link to the Discord and to the event page at the bottom of the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to it. You'll be able to click the link, ask your questions if you still got them, and please come out and show your support for this amazing thing that, Andrew's not getting paid for this, so people just doing it for fun.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, we've spent money out of pocket out of the car club to support this, right? Because that's how much we wanted it to stay around. So, let's keep doing it. Let's bring the people, show them how much fun it is, and keep it going.
All right. Well, Andrew, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. I can't wait to see you here in a few weeks and hit up all these stops again with you.
Yeah, for sure, Josh. See you in Norwalk, buddy.
All right. See you.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes Podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.